Welcome to Atlas Behavioral Health Consulting. My name is Keith Lisenby, and I'm the CEO and founder of Atlas Behavioral Health Consulting. And this is Intentional Empathy, episode number 7. Today, we are diving into dopamine, your brain's natural reward system that boosts happiness, motivation, and emotional balance. Before we get into it, thank you for watching and thank you for listening to the show. I hope you enjoy it. But if you do, and maybe if you don't, please go ahead, hit a like, subscribe to the channel, Atlas Behavioral Health Consulting, probably right below your screen. Make a comment and share with someone who may benefit from what we have to offer in this video and others. Again, smash a like, subscribe, comment, and share. We will explore today practical ways to keep dopamine balanced using our intentional empathy framework. We will discuss Dr. Lisa Feldman Barrett's insightful body budget concept as it relates to dopamine and incorporate valuable advice from neuroscientist TJ Power about boosting dopamine and the practice of phone fasting. Get ready for practical strategies, an engaging challenge, and as always, we will wrap things up with your guide on your mindful journey this week. Let us begin. Let's start with understanding dopamine. Dopamine is your brain's motivation chemical. It signals pleasure and reinforces behaviors that feel rewarding. Balanced dopamine means you feel energized, motivated, and emotionally resilient. However, dopamine imbalance from modern lifestyle habits like constant notifications and social media scrolling can leave you drained and anxious. As neuroscientist TJ Power emphasizes, dopamine is best managed by engaging in habits that offer long-term well-being rather than instant gratification, keeping your emotional and physical state balanced. A few other things that throw your dopamine out of balance besides social media scrolling would be things like pornography or gambling, for example, online. Body budget and dopamine. Neuroscientist Lisa Feldman Barrett describes the body budget as managing your body's energy and emotional resources. Healthy dopamine habits like adequate sleep, nutrition, and social interaction make deposits into your budget, improving emotional regulation and focus. Conversely, unhealthy dopamine hits like constant screen time, stress, quickly drain this budget, impacting mood, motivation, and overall mental health. Let's explore 5 practical dopamine strategies aligned with our intentional empathy principles and enriched by TJ Power's insights. First of all, let's talk about quality sleep. This is about boundaries and about pacing. Prioritize 7 to 8 hours of sleep nightly. What matters the most is really about the quality and how much deep sleep you have. The more deep sleep, the better. It's deep sleep that helps our brain flush out a lot of the substances and neurotransmitters and stuff that are not needing to be there so that you don't have brain fog. TJ Power highlights that restful sleep significantly replenishes dopamine stores and enhances focus and emotional stability. This is through a certain neurochemical that's released only in deep sleep that flushes out the brain system and flushes out brain toxins, like literally brain toxins. But it's only during deep sleep when this happens. The more deep sleep, the more these toxins are removed, and the higher your dopamine stores will be, and thus higher focus and higher stability. Another big thing, morning sunlight, which brings around presence and awareness. 10 or more minutes of sunlight each morning sets your dopamine rhythm, enhancing alertness and emotional resilience. This also improves serotonin as well because sunlight enhances that. Sunlight also triggers the circadian rhythm to help with sleep. But in terms of dopamine, morning sunlight as soon as possible sets these rhythms in motion, particularly around dopamine. Daily movement and exercise. Again, talks about pacing and awareness. A daily routine of at minimum 15 to 20 minutes of physical activity increases dopamine naturally, improving mood and cognitive function, both acutely and in long term. Acutely meaning in the next hour, 2 hours after movement and exercise, even maybe the next three or four, and acutely over several days over time. Another activity to help boost dopamine naturally in a healthy way would be music and/or creative activities. This brings about presence and clarity. Engaging mindfully in music or creative hobbies sustained daily increases in dopamine levels in reaching emotional wellness. Number five on the list of the big five of these is meaningful connections, which brings about presence and boundaries and awareness. Regular face-to-face interactions strongly boost dopamine levels. TJ Power recommends prioritizing real human connections over digital ones. Basically, let's say this, digital connections don't count for improving dopamine or any other neurochemical, emphasizing that there are lasting emotional rewards with face-to-face contact. Another note here, and we talked about this at the open, we talked about the idea of phone fasting. TJ Power talks about the concept of phone fasting really deserves special attention here, which means phone fasting means intentionally limiting use, like no phones for the first hour upon waking or before bedtime. This reduces overstimulation, helping your dopamine system recharge. This practice greatly enhances emotional clarity and reduces anxiety. Other applications include the idea of when you have a midday slump. Imagine that. Instead of reaching for caffeine or your phone, choose to walk outside, get out of your environment, change your brain's prediction patterns, mindfully observe your surroundings, which is presence, pace gently, pacing literally, and monitor your emotional state, which is self-awareness. By doing this, you deposit into the body budget, increasing your dopamine naturally, returning refreshed, focused, and emotionally balanced for your tasks ahead. So here is your weekly challenge this week, and we're going to call it the Dopamine Daily Double. Each day, intentionally practice two healthy dopamine habits discussed today. Perhaps you combine morning sunlight and evening phone fasting. At night, briefly reflect, maybe journal on how these intentional activities impacted your mood and your energy. By connecting your habits to the intentional empathy principles that we've talked about, you actively manage your dopamine and body budget, creating lasting emotional balance and clarity. That's all we got. Yeah, real short, real quick. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Please, again, remember to like this show, like and subscribe to the channel, make comments on this video, and share this video with anyone whom you think might benefit from the materials and information in it. Thank you for sharing your time today in our episode of Intentional Empathy. Remember, small, intentional choices profoundly shape your emotional and mental health. Stay mindful. Enjoy your dopamine-friendly week, and I'll see you next time.